Hello everyone, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Yes, I got us back to where we were when the game locked up last time. And I got that issue fixed, so we're back for long streams once again, with no locking up and no problems. So, everything is fine, we're back at it in Transport Fever, and the coastline electrification scheme has been completed. People can now travel along the coastline between Saltburn and Hartlepool purely on electric traction. And can, of course, travel to Darlington by the new electric traction. But now let's speed run through the 1890s to get to the 1900s, because we are well behind where I wanted to be in terms of actual date. So I'm allowing myself to break my no speeding up time rule just for the 1890s. But yeah, so actually I was going to look into and see if there were any other parts of the network that could really do with being reworked or electrified, but none of them really jump out to me. The Leeds Circular is a suburban network worked with Opal 4 tanks with short trains. That's not really up for electrification at all. The branch lines from Leeds and Bradford to Skipton aren't really up for electrification either. None of the main lines are up for it at all. Not even close to being. And the freight can't be moved that way because, well, there's no well, there are freight wagons that can be pulled, but you'd be wasting half the thing. If that makes sense. I'm gonna get another ship for that run. Just so that we've got it. Which is kind of important to me. I also want to completely rework this, because it is a little bit all bundled up down here. And I do want to rework... Oh, steam flat... Oh, and there... There, very quickly... That is the new power for the Scotch Expresses. That is significantly more powerful and matches the speeds of our current coaching stock. It's significantly more powerful than any other passenger engine we currently have, including anything that comes out of the London, Brighton, South Coast's fleet. Nothing has the power and speed that that engine has. The B1s were currently the best passenger engines, but now it's these chaps, the 440s. And they will be taking over the Northern Run. As per normal, they will be... So you'll have two... So it's two break luggages, 2 first-class coaches... Sorry, 4 first-class coaches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 third class. And a third-class brake at the rear. And that's in that lovely grey paint. And that should significantly increase timings. Offer much faster acceleration, especially on busy parts of the network. And dramatically increase our timings. Although, promise, I do want to rework Doncaster Station. It's becoming very busy. Well, fair, I did already rework it fairly substantially. And also, any of the heavier trains as well, I'm probably also going to want to rework to be worked by faster engines. Not all of them, but definitely the heavier trains like this one are going to want to be reworked because the extra speed is going to matter. For making them go as fast as I want them to go. That's the wrong colour, isn't it? Yeah, it's bright orange. That's the orange colour we want. Yoink. There we go. There we go. So, brake luggage. 2 first class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 third class. Oh, there we go. And then a third class break. Perfect. And this will again increase all up train speeds on this busy run out towards King's Lynn, which is kind of important, since it really does kind of matter. Since the station working with these single slam door coaches takes a hell of a while to actually do. As you can see, with these trains they can easily hit 50 miles an hour between stations, even in the short sections, so... And it'll make the longer sections even better. And of course, it will massively increase the speed of the Hull express trains. Very much so. Well, they're not express trains, but, you know, the workings out to Hull. That are going to absolutely matter for keeping the network going. There we go. Now I'm basically looking around and going, is there any other part of the network that needs to be... Any other really heavy passenger trains that need reworking? The Sheffield trains are not that heavy. They're not overly long. They're fine as they are. Now the Leeds to Sheffield trains, they can absolutely do with a rework, with a fast, fairly reliable set of locomotives and rolling stock. So, brake luggage van, 2 first-class saloons, 3 first-class saloons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a rear brake on the end of the train. Okay, that's a new... Okay, that's a new Class 440s. They're going to be taking over the secondary lines. And, oh, there's a... Oh, and there is brand new... There's some brand new rolling stock. Look at that. That's some bogies. That's some actual bogie coaches. Oh, isn't it beautiful? The answer is, of course, yes. It's very beautiful indeed. You love to see it. It's very nice. And there goes the train off to Leeds. So, I don't think the Leeds to Thirsk regional services, they're fairly big, but not quite big enough that I feel the need to replace them. But what I do feel the need to replace is all of the express trains. So let's get on with that. So here we go, just to here. So for the actual meat and potatoes, the London to Edinburgh Expresses, we want to go and find... So that new GNR, 500 horsepower, 70 kilonewtons of tractive effort. These, so these guys can handle some of these sort of cheap suburban workings, these small cities. You guys can handle some of the heavier workings. Even then, you're not like that. You're not really that. We'll see. Anyway, so first things first. So that is 500 horsepower and 70 kilonewtons, which I think is more powerful than our current. Yeah, it's less powerful, but it has more tractive effort. So what we're gonna do... Well, let's compare with equivalent train loads. So we're going to have... So we're going to have a brake luggage van, a single first-class vehicle, a third-class vehicle. There's 2 first-class vehicles, 2 third-class vehicles. Should have 3 third-class vehicles, and a third-class brake. Now, that's 500 horsepower, that's poor. Takes 7 minutes to get to 75 miles an hour. Now, if we put the other express power on, that's actually better. 5 minutes, not enough power. And if we use that one... Yeah, so that one will actually slog uphill, but it was slower to accelerate. Okay, so for the So for the heaviest expressors, we're going to stick with the singles for now. Oh, really? You really got to do that to me? That's really annoying. It's fine, though. Not a problem. So... then... so... yep, break luggage. 2 first class. 1, 2, 3... third class, and a third class break. And those are now the heaviest Scotch Expressors. Now, for the Flying Scotsman run, every ounce of speed does matter. And for the Scotch Express, a light load is very important, so... and again, because it's the Flying Scotsman, it has teaks. So it's literally a break luggage van, 2 first class vehicles, and a third class break. And that's designed to basically enable the... because that means that those trains will accelerate quicker than the other ones they're working with. And my hope is that that will actually mean that they'll be able to keep to the timings I want them to keep to. Whether or not they will, I don't know. Now, for the Hull to London trains, this is... the thing is, here's where we're going to start running into difficulties. So for over here on this line... again, we're going to need the heavy loadings that the other stock gives us, simply down to what we're dealing with in terms of all-up train weight. So... again, same thing. So, break luggage van, 2 first class vehicles, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 third class, and a third class break gives us enough capacity. Now, and then of course, if we come to London, London is the core of all of the express lines. So again, the London to Sheffield train, you usually carry about 30, so we'll give you a 40 length rake. So, and you do have some gradients, so you'll be worked by GNR. You'll be worked by GNR Stirling singles with a short rake, so you'll have a break luggage, a first class coach, 2 third class coaches, and a third class break. And that's this is the Hull to... so you have a mostly flat run, so you are going to have the additional stock. The other 422 singles, you're going to have them. And let me just make sure you've got the right... yep, so again, it's the same thing here. So you don't usually carry that much passengers, so but again, so you're going to get the very light train loading. So a break luggage van, a first class coach, a third class coach, and a break on the rear. Now we have express trains that actually look like express trains. And isn't it beautiful? It's adorable is what it is. Okay, so let's just... hang on. Nope, stop that. Trucks. Okay. No. I don't want the road depots, please. So I want... okay, so trucks, trucks, trucks. Yep. Yep, trucks. Trucks. So you're all trucks, that's fine. You're not, so you're not bother with you. So let's get all of you, because I mean, we know you are all truck. Ah! And there are the heavyweight 440s. that I was expecting for working secondary lines. That's fine, though. Yes, my steam lorries are here to make a mockery of. So we'll get you two quickly into lorries. So those guys will remain on that job because we need the capacity on it, clearly. And now lorry transit really starts to pick up in terms of what it's actually capable of when you get stuff like this that can do 31 miles an hour and carry like 16. It's kind of huge. Steam lorries were kind of cool. There we go. There's the train headed for Sheffield. Now what I want to do is I want to actually have a look at these new 440s. Find me a depot somewhere. Right, okay. Okay, so you guys are big and powerful, but you are slower. But what I can ask you to do is you can take over the secondary lines that are still stuck with the 222s. Because they still use the older coaching stock, and to be fair, they are in need of a reworking in terms of the way in which they carry passengers. Because, well, they need to carry passengers. We'll stick with the same coaching stock because, well, it makes sense. We'll slightly increase capacity to allow for the increase in numbers of people that will be moved by these trains. Which is fine. 1898 now, that's fine. Oh, narrow gauge is here. Very nice. That will come in useful at some point, I have no doubt. And of course at King's Lynn there's... Oh no, that service was replaced already. But I know for a fact that the secondary line through here is still... Yep, still worked by the singles, so you can absolutely be upgraded to be the new setup, which I'm absolutely fine with. It will increase our... oh, that's the colour in it. There we go. Yep, that's the colour. Again, stick with the same coaches because it makes logical sense to, since you're not increasing all-up train speed. What you are doing is increasing rate of acceleration, which really does kind of matter. And it means you can operate longer, heavier trains, which we're fine with. Then... Are there any other secondary lines that I've forgotten about? I don't think so. Okay, there is... So there's U2. U2 are basically branch trains. Now, all branch trains on the network are going to be converted over to being worked by GWR Duke class engines. Basically because these are the secondary lines. They don't need to be fast. They need to be actually fairly They need to actually be fairly cheap so people can use them, and if they're quick, they won't be cheap. Same thing here with the with these secondary lines here. Though this secondary line, actually, I'm probably... Yeah, the Newark to Norwich, I'm probably going to upgrade into a secondary bridge line, so that will get the improved stock, because it is acting as a very important bridge line. So the increase in speed is not only warranted, but may actually be a very useful thing to actually have. And that's the B4 class, which is 65 miles an hour. Which is slightly slower than some of our other bits of rolling stock. But it is significantly more powerful than any other passenger engine we have. Now, I feel it may be better to trade a little bit at 2 miles an hour of speed for slightly higher pulling power. But I'm not sure, since that higher top speed can make all the difference, and it's not that much of an increase in pulling power. But, yeah, so that's the way we do things. Any other lines that I've forgotten? So those two branches there. Oh my god, I actually forgot. I actually forgot the branches out in the low country. So, kind of want to convert this to being electrically worked. But I do kind of like the whole tank engine aesthetic I've got going on. So I'll leave you guys alone with tank engines, because you're actually fine as you are for now. No real need to replace you chaps just yet, given the sort of work you do. You guys... Yeah, you actually can get replaced in the secondary line, because that then means that with you guys being replaced, that means all up speeds go up on this section, which is what we want. Well, it's absolutely what we want, actually. There we go. Lovely. Next thing I want to do is... So when we get through here... This road bridge is just massive. I don't know why it's been built that way. I know I didn't do it. I think. Now, we come to the whole topic of the northern suburban network. Now, I can go two ways with this. I can keep the way it is, or I can actually electrify it and use the electrics instead, and I don't know if I want to or not. I haven't quite decided yet. Now, Scottish rail traffic is proving fairly popular indeed. And of course... Oh, that's right! The Scotch Expresses! I'd forgotten there are Scotch Expresses. I had completely forgotten that. I had completely forgotten about Scotch Expresses. I had completely forgotten. Just completely whoosh over the top of my head. You could hear the noise it made as it went by. So we're now in 1900. 80 years since we started in 1820. Which is honestly really impressive if you think about it. Now, what I do need to do is find one of those expresses. If they're in service, I know they are. Ah, here we are. Yeah, here's one of the Scotch Expresses. So, yep. No, I want... No, I don't want you guys. I don't want you guys. I don't want you guys. I want... Now, basically, I could replace everything with that, but I don't want to. Not yet, anyway. What I could really do with is some new express power, but I'm not going to get it just yet. I'm going to have to wait a bit for that, sadly. And we are in Scotland, so we'll use, since we're going to have a lot of heating going on in the coaching stock, we're going to absolutely use some clerestory coaches. So a first class set, a third class coach, and a third class break. Again, very much in with this idea of the light express, as was epitomized by the late Victorian period. Now, none of these trains are really stupid heavy. Even the mainline run from Aberdeen to Edinburgh isn't that overly heavy. Oh, I forgot the Northern Express is to Darlington. How could I forget? I am a very silly man sometimes. I am a very, very silly man indeed. There we go. So I want... Yep. First class, third class. And a third class break. And that'll look better now, for the most part. Now... I do very much like the whole coastal electric tramway setup we got going on. I think it's neat. I'm gonna have you two actually be the new iteration of. Actually, no. Oh no. Actually, yeah. Everybody's gonna get the upgrade because it has more horsepower and carries slightly more people. So it's very much worth it that we do with this. And now the driver gets a properly enclosed driving cab, which is probably what you need in the English weather, if we're going to be honest. There we go. This is actually making a profit. This whole silly tramway idea is making a profit, and I love it. I love it for that. That's great. And there's still the steam-powered connection to the main line, which I do love. So, anyway, keep going. So, forwards through the 1900s. Here we go. So... Now, these are very heavy trains that we're pulling here. Very heavy. Now, what I want to know is what the Scotch Express's timetable to take. Oh, I need 9 minutes. We need to shave about 10 minutes off the journey time. That's what we need to do. Stomping up the hill to North Allerton. Very much stomping up the hill. And there goes one of the Scotch Expresses coming in through from wherever it's come from into there. Yeah, I don't know what it is about going north from Thirsk, but people really want to go north from Thirsk to North Allerton. I don't know why they do. I have no clue, but they do. Anyway, so, trams. Trams. So not the so yeah, anything that is actually electric. So not you. Not you. These are urban trams. We don't want to be burning too much money, so yeah, you guys are going to have that. You guys have overheads, don't you? You do not have overheads. How did I miss you? Yeah, you should absolutely have overhead wires. I don't know why you do not. You should have overhead wires. You absolutely should. I'm surprised I didn't realize that they didn't. There we go. So with the vital connection that those trams actually provide, I am going to go for the Manx electric car with summer trailer because that helps them massively. That's the London Underground. We can't really upgrade them. And you are the Newcastle upon Tyne Underground. Although I don't know if you are electrified. I think you are electrified. So you guys can be upgraded to the Manx electric railway vehicles to increase the speed of that underground working there. You guys are... Okay, so you guys are the service that runs between North Allerton and Thirsk along your own right-of-way. So we're going to very quickly upgrade that right-of-way. Because then what we can do with that is we can then upgrade that to being... I don't think you guys actually carry that much people, do you? No, you don't. So you can just be a simple Manx electric set of cars. But that does mean they do go 30 miles an hour now, which is going to dramatically increase the speed of the service. Which is very useful indeed. So... I don't think there's... So the whole... Ah, yes, so you are actually the link between the ferry boats and the station. And since there is now a significantly faster way to do this... Thank you. Please do for there become electric. Why will you not do for become electric? Please do not be a cunt. Being a cunt is strictly prohibited. There, and now we can upgrade that to being electric. With the new Manx electric cars. I think that's Dundee. Ah, okay. Yep, so you guys need electrifying. So you can take the new electric tram cars. But that's fine, that's not a problem. This is the problem with modernity, folks. It comes back to get ya. And you've got to invest to modernize. And it's got to be done. You can't not do it. You'll be left high and dry if you don't. And again, this is a local tramway, so it gets the local tramways, not the other ones. Everything else is all cargo trams, so they can stay as they are. There we go. Perfect. Fantastic. Lovely. You'll love to see it. All is well. I don't think there's any other tram lines that I can upgrade. There is the... There we go. Lots of things going on here. Lots of things going on here. This is... These Old 2s are still going. I thought I'd retired and replaced these years ago, but apparently not. Apparently I did not do that. So yeah, we've got a whole lot of things going on. Everything is still a mess, but that's fine. Okay, we need to rationalize this station. Sadly, we just do. That's just the way it needs to be. We just need a lot of we need a lot more room in the station. A lot more room. Just make it long. Make it long. Make it long. If we make it long, we've got more room in there to do things. It's fine. Make it long. That's not really going to work, sadly. Much as I want it to. No, that doesn't really work. I can... that doesn't really work. I mean, actually, increasing the length, I think, has done the job I wanted it to do, which is good. To be fair. Now... most train traffic now goes under York rather than through it, which is a nice surprise. And oh good lord, the amount of traffic that goes into and out of York. York citizens are probably not happy with the level of stuff they're dealing with here, but that's fine. Oh. Hello there. You guys should be the new trams. Why are you not the new trams? Please become the new trams. Aggressive fleet screaming. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. Nothing's going to go wrong here. Wow, we've actually cleared the congestion here as well. Well, mostly cleared it. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was. It's nearly there. Okay. Perfect. All is well for the most part. Not perfect, but definitely better than it was. Do you know, I didn't really think about upgrading my bus lines, actually. Are there any... Okay, well, let's do what we usually do. By condition. So... there are vehicles. Okay, so you guys do make bank. Let's look at your replacement. Nothing... Yeah, it's going to have to remain the omnibus. There's no buses we have that actually can carry the required amount of people. Okay, you guys are in very bad condition. That's fine. You're going to get replaced with a petrol coach instead. You guys are in very bad condition. I can see that very clearly. So you guys are going to get replaced with a petrol-driven bus. You guys have the wrong colour. And again, replaced with a petrol bus. Again, same thing here. So, correct color scheme. First petrol bus. And again, with here, again, it's the same thing. You don't really make enough, but you're essential. So, petrol bus. You guys have the wrong livery, but need replacing. Petrol bus. Same thing here. So, wrong livery. Need replacing. Petrol bus. What color is that? Oh, it's that one. And again, same thing. Petrol bus. And again, same thing here. So you guys are in need of replacement. You do make a fair bit of money, though. Yeah, to be fair, though, upgrading you guys to petrol bus is fine. You guys are also fine to get a petrol bus upgrade as well. And now we're just into the bads. So we're gonna... So again, that's how we do it. We replace the very bad vehicles. That's how we do it. Oh, look at the... I love these adorable little things. Look at them. It has barely the power to move itself. Oh, good lord. And then Lower Newark is turning into a bit of a hub, as you guys are aware from some previous streams we've done. Really is turning into a bit of a hub. So, okay. Where are we? So, we've got... now, that's the... That's the London Express run. It's worked by a pair of 060s now. I wonder... I think a single one of our 060s can now work that train. Yeah, I think they absolutely can. Although, that being said... yeah, that wouldn't really work, sadly. Although, I see a single one of these engines can do the work of 2 of their previous generation. So yeah, we're absolutely going to have... There we go, a full-length train. Perfect. Because all we need is a single modern large 060 to work those trains. You don't have to double head them anymore. It's just not needed. We can do it with a single locomotive, and it'll be fine. Although certain heavier trains won't be reworked this way, and the certain lighter trains definitely won't be. There we go. I will admit, seeing loaded fuel tankers charge across the network that quickly does make a man wonder for a second if we really are safe. Yes, it is quite the network we have here. Yes, it is very much a network that exists. It's big. We started in 1820. And it's now 1900. We've been playing this stave for 80 years. And we started with some truly ancient locomotives. The London to Edinburgh main line was actually completed in 18. I think it was by the end of the 1840s we actually completed the London to Edinburgh line. Although the Scottish network wasn't actually built until the 1880s, I think. But it might have been earlier than that. Although the trappings of the modern railway are starting to come in now. We've got bogie coaches for our express workings now, which is nice. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I'm glad you do live close to the first one ever made. Well, that depends on what you consider the first one, because it can be debated. Yeah, so we got the secondary lines with the 440s. The branch lines, and of course we've got the electric coastal railway that serves the coastal resort towns. I was not expecting this to be as popular as it has become, but people really do seem to like the electric coastal railway. It is popular. Oh, you're talking about that one, righto. Well, that's one of the first. That's one of the first public railways, but it's probably not the first intercity railway. I know the one you mean. But yeah, so yeah, so we got the branch line network's all set up. The express line from Darlington to Edinburgh set up. It's all going well. There we go. And we got quaint little branch stations as well. This is a connecting train to Edinburgh, which is linking in with the Hexham branch train, which will then run down to Morpeth to connect with the secondary line from Morpeth to Alnwick and Newcastle. And then, of course, the Flying Scotsman. Direct train from London to Edinburgh. Problem is, we need to somehow shave 10 minutes off its schedule in order to make it actually usable according to the game's mechanics. Because it currently takes about 30 minutes to go from London to Edinburgh. And unfortunately, that's 10 minutes fast, 10 minutes slower than the absolute maximum a passenger will travel along a route. Unfortunately. So I'm basically waiting for faster motive power, in essence. which I haven't quite got yet. Yeah. Absolutely, completely. Yeah, it's all round this way. And then Edinburgh Waverley Station, where trains come and go. Eight platforms, basically all in use, which is nice to see. Trains to Darlington from Edinburgh directly along the Northern Main Line. Let's actually... No, we promised ourselves we'd skip to the 1900s. We can't skip further forward. Problem is, we're basically waiting on new rolling stock, basically, to make things better than they are currently. Basically what we're waiting for. There we go. Ah, yeah, this part of the line, the crossing over. Yeah, that is really quite busy. Oh, and steam lorries. I am going to replace you with actual steam lorries because they will be faster and will help clear backlogs easier. Which in this particular case actually really does matter. Back during the Golden Age. Yeah, well, it's... Yeah, this really is the Golden Age of Railway Mania. It's very true. Problem is, there's no real push for me to replace too much of my rolling stock right now. Nothing has really provided me with a key benefit just yet. Probably will be at some point in the future, but not right now. I don't know why, but Thirsk to Northallerton is always super busy, and I don't know why. I mean, Thirsk is a junction for multiple lines. Oh, and there's the Flying Scotsman again. There we go. So this is the wood line that is basically worked solo. Now, with all that in mind, what was I going to do? Something I want to do. You can't really do a one-to-one scale map in Britain. It wouldn't really work with Transport Fever, sadly. The way the game's set up, it wouldn't work. It would probably be very, very demanding on the... Well, it'd be far too demanding for actually be workable, sadly. You could probably do a 1-to-4 scale or a 1-to-8 scale. Now, when I'm thinking about it, and I am thinking about it, now, of course, for the regular passenger trains leaving King's Cross, they've got the slog up to Hatfield. It's a fairly steep gradient out of London, and these are very heavy passenger trains. We're talking 275-ton passenger trains, which are fairly heavy. Being slogged up this hill where they meet the secondary line that has come up from Enfield. Provides a nice interchange with the main line. And of course, this is the London to Bradford line, which then interchanges and becomes part of the... which then dead ends with the Sheffield to Bedford, so Sheffield to Bedford line. And of course you've also got the Sheffield to London Express trains, with a lovely dark blue livery. So, there's not much in terms of goods that comes down here. Now, the main goods terminal was and is technically in London. But oh, that's right, I forgot. The London Underground. This is a steam-worked, meter-gauge underground railway system that tries to take some of the pressure off London's somewhat overworked network of buses. Doesn't always work, sadly, but they try. And here's a train coming in from Hull. Oh yeah, there's plenty of expresses to link the map together. And I forgot to upgrade one express train. I knew there was one I'd forgotten. The Doncaster to King's Lynn Express service. I knew there was one that I'd forgotten about. I knew there was one that I had forgotten. I knew that there was one that I had forgotten. There we go. These are the two primary express passenger, well, primary passenger engines on the network. The 440s handle the heaviest stopping trains, and the 422s handle the expresses for the most part. On the secondary lines, these are ones that aren't branch lines, but are secondary lines that are important. We have 440s from the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway. They're slower, but 7 miles an hour slower than the mainline 440s, and a full 15 miles an hour slower than the express 440s. But they are still useful for these secondary lines. On the branch lines that we operate, these are served by Great Western Railway Duke locomotives. They're 10 miles an hour slower than even our secondary line trains. For our non-heavier main lines, these are worked by 044 tank engines. They have the same speed as the 440s, but they are slightly less powerful. They were the mainstay until the 440s came along and supplanted them from the heaviest work. The heaviest freight power is these chunky 060s, although freight engines will be varied depending on my mood, basically. So you're likely to find some of the old 042s still knocking around doing freight working. 060 tank engines doing it, and some of the old go-ahead for heavy freight was a pair of older 060s. And they will likely remain on those heaviest freight trains for some time yet. Ah yes, Mineral Alley. One of the busiest freight parts of the network. So busy, in fact, that in order to cope with it, not to delay the passenger trains have been diverted around it, and in order to not delay the passenger trains on the Hull to Scarborough run, we had to put a significant deal of work into quadruple tracking the line to separate the freight trains out a bit and give the passenger trains some leeway to actually run. It doesn't always work. Wait, this is a secondary line? I didn't even realise. I thought this was a primary line. Apparently no, it is a secondary line. Given the high stop-starting nature of it, we're going to give it to a better London, Brighton, South Coast 440. So, a break luggage van, 2 first-class vehicles, 3 third-class vehicles, and a brake. This will mean the engines will accelerate much quicker from the slacks that are being constantly caused by the trains they're working around, and should hopefully mean that we have a decent run. But yeah, there's a lot of traffic that comes out of the mines here between Hull and Scarborough. Lots of iron ore, lots of coal. And it's all worked in these massive block trains. They do look beautiful in red, to be fair, it has to be said. But everything's color-coded, so I can tell what the hell's going on. Basically. It makes my TISM happy. We don't really have much shipping. The only actual cargo shipping line is this one that moves some grain around, which feeds into a tram line that then feeds it to a thing at Lower Hull. All of the ferries are these very smart 2-stackers that provide a fast, reliable service between the ports they actually serve. Without them, actually, and the speed they provide, the Scarborough to Saltburn ferry service wouldn't even attract any passengers at all. It runs at a loss right now, but it's a vital link in the network, so it keeps going. Because it's paid for by everything else, and it's a vital link in the network, so it keeps going even though it runs at a loss. Overall profitability, a lot of our heavy freight lines run at a loss, apart from when the trains actually arrive. But a lot of our lines do not run at a loss. Two of our lines, steel and a wooden planks line, make a lot of the money. Another one provides a lot of transport. A lot of these freight lines make a heck of a lot of money. A lot of our passenger trains make a lot more money as well. Which is fine. Funnily enough, our express trains actually do make a lot of money as well. The London to Edinburgh line, unfortunately, is gone from being one of my key moneymakers to being just about break even, as the demands of running the service have really taken a toll on it. Unfortunately. And certain other express trains aren't profitable either. But again, they're part of the network, so they have to be kept operational, because disbanding them would... maybe? Problem is, it's a world where everything functions, everyone has a need, everyone has a job, so it would kind of... Suppose you could do that? I'm not sure how you'd make it work. I mean, we'll have to see what Transport Fever 2 actually brings in terms of what that game is going to do for the whole Transport Fever formula. I, for one, am very excited to figure out what they are going to do with it. There we go. Lovely. Very nice indeed. Right, sorry, we're going to skip forwards a little bit, because there's not really much to do until we get some more motive power. And we can see how the, I basically want to get some new express. I'm basically waiting on some new express power to rework the primary trunk line up to Scotland, basically. That's what I'm waiting for, in essence. Okay, that's slightly better 060, nothing wrong with that. Better trams, that's fine. That's a bunch of freight wagons. Doesn't really help me much. That's a rebuild of a GWR 060. It doesn't really help me too much. we have a lot of stuff that moves around the network. A lot of things they move. At least we like to think they move anyway. But yes, so oh, hello. Ah, you must be a remnant of the old main line. So, originally, there was a lot of track sharing. Luckily, now we've separated it, so the expresses run a lot smoother than they used to. This is going to be especially important as we go into later eras, and that speed really becomes somewhat important to really tightening our timings. But for now, we're all right. The next 20 years are going to be a very crucial time for upgrading the network. Now, basically, I have phases where I'm in upgrade, build, or expansion. There's no expansion to do, so I'm in basically... Well, some of those phases is basically dead. And unless a clear problem presents itself to me, I don't really tend to do major reworkings of my network. Now, a lot of these towns do need feeding with goods, but basically I basically need a spark of inspiration to do things in Transport Fever. I'm very much more keen on watching the world I've built kind of just chug along in a sort of weird way, if that makes sense. The 422s are going to be perfectly fine for working these Oh, I forgot the yeah, so that needs a check signal there, because otherwise that train won't get to call its signal, which it absolutely needs to do. That would explain why we've had some delays, because that's one of the requirements for making these express lines work. It should be it, so it's just that, and then there we go, because that's very important. Because it means the bypassing trains have right of way, basically. Not completely, but it mostly makes sense. Because that train was late getting to that signal, the express got right away and can hammer on through at 75. Hold it. That's the other express coming the other way. I'm going to manually give him right away. You're already stopped. You can wait. That's something they're adding to Transport Fever 2, by the way. You can actually make it so that certain lines can requisition signals well ahead of their progress. To replicate, you know, paths being cleared for express trains. Okay, that's an 062 tank. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. And there we are. That is what I have been waiting for. That is the motive power and the coaching stock that I have been waiting for to actually upgrade the Flying Scotsman. By going at 80 miles an hour and holding that clip for the entire length of the run, we should be able to wipe the required 10 minutes off the journey. And if we can wipe those 10 minutes off the journey, suddenly the whole concept of a London to Edinburgh Express that actually carries passengers becomes viable. Let's see if we can find one of these new expresses. There should be one somewhere. Finding the expresses into the hard bit, because you always wonder where they've gone off to. Unfortunately. That's a normal Scotch Express, nothing wrong with that. Although, to be fair, with these new heavy Scotch Express trains, they can absolutely be upgraded with the City class as well, because that is also going to make them much faster, comparably. which is kind of important. There we go. There we go, look at that. The Great Western Railway. On the London to Edinburgh route, but shh, it's fine, don't tell anybody. Now then, I am going to actually, I'm going to put the camera at Doncaster Station for a bit. And let's just see if we can catch the Scotsman coming through. Because I'll be back in just a second. Thank you all for being so patient. Let's check Shack. Was it spotted? Well, if it was spotted, no one said anything. Nope, nope, not spotted, sadly. Oh well. I wonder where it got to. Well, that was some of the express power I was wanting, but not all of it. That's not really enough to really upgrade the main line trains, though, which is unfortunate. Let's try and get to 1903, 1904. Should give me more of what I want. At least that's what I hope, anyway. There we go. Lovely stuff. Lovely. Alright. She didn't come through. Never mind. Gotta be somewhere. Actually, there's one of the southbound trains working its way down at speed. Whoa! Those coaches are leading into the curve. Okay, here comes a train. There we go, one of the regular expresses, but it's making good time. Ah, there's one of the Flying Scot sets. Looks to be a little bit slowed, bless it. Okay, let's have a look at the timetable. See if that edition of that set has that's barely shaved 3 minutes off. We need more power. We need to be able to hold we need to be able to basically hold 85 near continuously. We need closer signals for certain sections, which we don't currently have right now. Because if we don't have closer signals, we're not going to get the timings that we need on certain sections, because the trains will be too far apart. That's what I have done. They basically don't share any of the... Oh, yes. That'll do. That's what we wanted. That's an Atlantic. That is a fast, powerful Atlantic. That is exactly what we wanted. More powerful. That should enable the timings to be even tighter. Because it's more powerful, it'll enable the train to reach and hold its top speed for higher. It'll be faster to get to its top speed, quicker. I mean, look at this. It's charging up this hill like it's not even there. That is the problem, though. It's making sure we actually hold that clip. We also need some better dedicated power for some of our heavier passenger trains. What hill? I like you, Katsadud. You could stay. You could stay. It's nice to have someone to talk to on the regular. I don't really have many regular viewers, sadly, yet. But it's nice to have someone who's shown up for 2 streams in a row. Nice to have friends. Well, friends and viewers. Not necessarily in that order. And the electric coastal railway. Very nice indeed. It's nice. It's nice to have you here. Nice to have you. I'm glad you've come. Tell your friends. People say I'm inactive, and like people say I'm inactive and I don't chat. I'm saying, well, yeah, I'd love to chat if any of you people actually said anything. I can't talk to you if you don't say anything. Why aren't you talking in the chat, Flake? Because none of you have said anything. That you can just be screaming into the void. Oh dear. All right, what's the hubbub? What's the problem? Are they all held up behind one? Yeah, they are all held up behind one. Well, that's annoying. Okay, an 062. And oh, hello. That was a... Right. Well, that's what's going to work the absolute heaviest freights then. Because that is what it's there for. That is a 2800. And I've just been handed the most powerful freight engine in the country at this time. She'll make very quick work of and then red. And then there we go. That should be significantly faster freight trains on the main line to London. That's true. Dr. Clark is doing brew ships, but... yeah, everything's all blocked off, which is unfortunate. It's very annoying, actually. There we go. Restarting its train, getting it underway. Yep, the modern heavy freight engine has arrived. To work the network's heaviest freight trains at speed. There we go. And work long, heavy freight trains with contemptuous ease. They make it look easy. Indeed, the power. And also, don't they sound Doesn't it sound lovely when it's really working hard? There we go. And then we'll replace all these trains with... Okay, a post bus. A tank engine. Another heavy freight tank engine. Another heavy freight tank engine. Another heavy freight tank. Oh, yes. That's what I've been waiting for to revolutionize the, Oh, and there's the branch engines I've been waiting for as well, the 262s. But what I have been waiting for mainly is over here. Is to upgrade these into the new heavy freight locos as well. Because, yeah, seriously, the heavy freight traffic is ludicrous around here. Like, it's... Like, we're talking 800-ton coal trains here, worked by 2 little 060s, and they're really not quick off the mark, these 060s, sadly. So... we don't really have bigger carriages and trucks, unfortunately. And none of them that can do the 60-mile-an-hour speeds that I want them to do. Already bringing these trains in is going to have an absolutely huge impact on speeds around this part of the network. So you're carrying only 194, so that's fine. We can bring you down a little bit in size. That's fine. And then we'll give you one of the more powerful new 060s. Because that's actually probably more in line with what you need. As for you, though, you are absolutely going to get a 280 freight engine. Because you absolutely are carrying the weights required that would demand that. Everything else, though, for now is mostly fine. But here's the important thing. A new generation of mainline passenger train for the Scottish run. "75 miles an hour capable, all bogie coaches, all teaks, 4 first class vehicles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 third class, and then a third class break at the rear. Behold the new face of local passenger service on the run to the north. The era of modern railways is here, my friend." Although currently this only matters for the Scotch Express, the Scotch trains. Because they're the ones that have the most distance to cover and therefore it matters most for. I can't help but feel like there's something missing here that I should have gotten. Well, there's the tank engines for secondary work that we've got. They'll come in very handy for working some of these trains when these locos come up for replacement. There's no point replacing these engines until they need to be replaced because, well, they're fine doing what they're doing. There we go, that's fine. Yeah, traffic through Retford is really beginning to back up, unfortunately. You know, I can't help but wonder. Yeah, we need to figure out a way around this, because this is becoming a real traffic bottleneck. Especially when you've got 700-ton steel trains clogging up the main line through Retford Station. Here's a service up from London. Third track. Do you know something? I don't actually know. What was it going to be for? It's clearly part of some project I've dreamed up and never finished. But I don't quite know what... Oh, yes, look at that. That's what we needed. That's what we wanted. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Yes, look at that. Alright, boys. Happy days are here again. So the first thing we need to do... Well, first we'll see through the smoke of all this lot. Before we do much of anything else. So the first thing to do, and the most important thing to actually do, so, London to Edinburgh Express trains. They are now going to be worked by... It's going to be a two-tier system, so it's going to be Saints working the regular expresses with top light coaches. The heaviest express train is going to be worked by a Star, which is an even more powerful version of the same engine. But that's going to have these lovely, lovely Pullman coaches. A baggage coach. First class parlour, first class bar, first class kitchen. Then another parlour. And then an observation coach. A first-class train from end to end. And speaking of which, here it comes now. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the newly Pullmanified Flying Scotsman. Look at that. It's beautiful. Yeah, she's going. So the first thing to do... So, for a lot of our marginal expresses, speed really does matter. So we're going to be looking into tightening those timings. With Pullman stock applied to these trains as well. But they're going to use, because speed is important rather than power, they're going to use the 442 tender engines that have that required level of speed. Oh, that's not it. Is that? No, that's not it. That's the colour, yeah. There we go. So. And then. So the baggage coach. A first class parlour. A first class bar and kitchen. A parlour. And then an observation car. And if they can hold that clip at 82 miles an hour, that should be pretty good. Then, of course, the next train to get this treatment will be the Sheffield to London Express, which, of course, will now regain its title of the Master Cutler. However, given the gradients that the train will have to deal with, I'm inclined to give that to a star. Just because of the heavy gradients the train will have to deal with because of the way the line's built on the London to Sheffield run. First class parlour, bar, kitchen, parlour, observation car. There we go. That's lovely. Now, eventually I will probably come around to upgrading a lot of my stock into being these better trains. But for now, I'm primarily focused on certain key parts of the network that definitely need an upgrading. Oh, you clipped it! Nice! Are we clipping here now? I don't know why we're suddenly having difficulties here when we weren't before. So I'm going to get rid of this section, because I feel like it's driving unnecessary amounts of traffic through this area, when I really don't want it to. Yeah, Retford Station's becoming a bit of a bottleneck. Basically, what I want to do is I want to ensure that any future traffic for the Retford Mill comes through the freight-only line that was actually built over here. It might cause more congestion on this line, but it's a freight line. It's supposed to be congested. Oh, and there's the Saints working hard with their lighter train. Let's have a look. Have we actually gotten the time down? Well, I think we'll need to let it run for a bit. Let the service really come into its own. And see what the timings are like once we have. Yeah, the Saints will sound nice. Basically, once we've cleared away the congestion here, which we should be able to do relatively quickly once these Atlantics clear off. Shouldn't be too long. There we go, that's fine. Yeah, it really is all starting to back up here, sadly. In a really bad way. There we go. So now that's cleared away, that's cleared away, that'll clear away, that'll clear away, that'll clear away, that will clear. Once that clears, I can delete the junction and no more trains should come down that section of line apart from those bound for London, which will merge into the normal regular traffic. Yeah, because now he will pull on some steam, blast through the station without so much as a by your leave, and will then be off on his merry way down the section of the track he needs to go down. Always got the regulator open, he's adding power. You may make a suggestion. There we go. That should alleviate a very... That should get rid of about 6 trains going through that station, which should be more than enough to restore the balance here, I think. Yeah, now that that's out of the way, everything will come in and out on this freight-only line. The only thing that will come down there is the fast freights to London. Problem is, there's not the room. I don't have the space to completely redo Retford Station, and that would mean major disruptions to the London to Edinburgh trains. There we go. There goes an express for London behind one of the old singles. So many lines now, it's hard to keep track of them. really is hard to keep track of what the hell's going on sometimes. It really is. They don't have to pull up quick. Jesus. Hit the brakes. Oh, allow me to introduce one of the main characters and memes of the channel. Allow me to introduce you to Driver Jeff and Driver Steve. Jeff is the man to break 85 miles an hour. He's looking forward to doing it. He likes doing it in every game we play. And Steve is always jealous of Jeff. There we go. That should be enough now. Fair enough. Oh, wow. We have 10 billion in the bank. Nice. They remind me of some people I've met. Oh, Jeff and Steve have that effect on people sometimes. Okay, that's that. Wonder what became of the regular service. It's the Sheffield Bradford train there. So if I'm not mistaken, the two expresses should be, yep, here. About to pass each other. The up and down Master Cutlers passing right outside Bedford. Exactly where they're supposed to pass. And both of them doing line speed. And there we go. The southbound Master Cutler is going to sweep across 80 miles an hour onto the main line, bound for London. God, it feels good to be properly running express trains. To have this feel of the speed as you go racing along. Slowing a bit through the diverting line, but we'll pick up speed again in a minute. We've got the green, we're clear through. London bound. There we go, accelerating back up. You can hear Jeff's open the regulator. There you go. Go on, Jeff. Open the reg. Oh, there we are. Look at that. It's beautiful stuff. Smack our faces off the signal as well. Yeah, we sometimes have to do it. Look at those drive wheels go. And then, of course, here we are in London for the actual arrival of the first working of the new Master Cutler. And here it comes now. The down Master Cutler arriving in London from Sheffield. Lovely. I'm beginning to think these Atlantics are not up for the heavy weight of trains that we're making them handle. The 400 tons of passenger train. 400 tons of passenger train. It is a very heavy train. I can't help but wonder if timings have actually gone down, not up. Well, yeah, on the long flats between some of these stations, they're not achieving the same speeds as their predecessors did with the 6-axle coaches, despite the fact they technically have the potential to be faster. So I can't help but wonder if we have picked the right horse here for working these very heavy passenger trains. Luckily, it does seem as though the congestion has actually cleared for the most part. Yeah, I think we need to look into these Atlantics and whether they are actually the appropriate setup for these heaviest passenger trains. Hey, another clip! Yeah, I think I need to look into whether or not these are actually what we need for working the heavy Scotch local trains. Because I don't know. They don't have the same get up and go as the engines that came before them. It basically means that you thought something was actually good enough that you actually thought it was worth saving. That's why people get so happy. Okay, so we've got a new engine that does 75 miles an hour. Okay, another Saint type. Some more 060s and another 262 tank. Okay, so what's this new Saint type then? Okay, two different Saints. Not much difference between them. You're a new class of heavy engine. But there was also a... yeah, 260 tender. You have horsepower and tractive effort. And you are slightly faster than the big Atlantic. Yeah, you're absolutely taking over the Scotch heavy, the heavy Scotch workings. You are entirely the right engines for it. Just no doubt about it. More powerful. Much more suited to this sort of work. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Place. Now this should give us a much better run north. More powerful engines. better run north. And it also gives me the groundwork for an almost full replacement of a lot of the heavier passenger trains. Yeah, okay, the whole line definitely needs a new passenger setup because it's not dealing with the passengers that it's getting really well, so that's fine. So brake luggage van, 2 first class coaches, 1, 2, 3, 4 third class, actually another one, and then a third class brake. And that will be the whole line sorted and squared away. Now then, when it comes to the other big line, it leads to King's Lynn. Especially because as the trains get faster, more people want to travel as more parts of the map are opened up to them within the time limit that they're actually willing to travel. So you have to actually make allowances and then make sure you've got the trains that can take them where they want to go. So 3 first class coaches, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. 10 extra capacity should be more than enough. Okay, it's a new set of 060s. Very nice. Oh, please tell me that was what I thought it was. Was that a honking Great Pacific that'll do 85 miles an hour? Did I just see that right? Did I just see... That was a honking Great Pacific that'll do 85 miles an hour, wasn't it? Yep, it absolutely was. Oh, yes. Wait, 85 miles an hour. Okay, here we are. The clear stretch ahead. Alright, Jeff. She can do 85. You've got a nice clear stretch of rail ahead of you. Come on, mate. Let's go for the record. Come on, Jeff. 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 $65. $67. $68. $69. $70. Come on, Jeff. 15 more miles an hour to go. Come on. 73. 74. 75. 10 more. Come on, Jeff. 78. 80 miles an hour. Come on. 81. 82. Oh, come on, let's get us up on the flat on top of the bridge. Come on. 82. 83. 2 more, come on. 84. Come on, Jeff. 85 miles an hour, we did it. And look at her go. The fastest thing we've ever had. A new speed record. Look at her go. Oh, that was glorious. Oh no, and here comes the down train as well. Oh, the A4s will get their turn. They will get their turn, but for now, Driver Jeff has achieved what Driver Jeff always achieves. Eventually, Jeff gets his 85-mile-an-hour run. Oh yeah, we need to let the timings run because there's no way that's increased in timing with the trains getting faster. There's no way. Good lord. Okay. Another clip! Oh, the clips of this one is going to be nice to watch. There we go. Yeah, basically all the bridge lines need themselves upgrading to take new, faster 75-mile-an-hour. Which is a 10-mile-an-hour increase in speed, by the way, for our average passenger trains. So it's kind of huge. And also just the bogie coaches that we need to actually make it all work. So that's the only connecting service onto the main line that hasn't been upgraded is the Scarborough. So I'll get to that now. Because that is kind of important. Never mind them at speed. When those Saint class are getting going, they sound like they're boiling up a storm. Oh, God, you love to see it. So that's that done. So the thing I now want to do is I want to make sure that our expresses are better. So again, we go for the Atlantics, and we give them the what we're calling the short Pullman consist. Baggage car, first class parlour, bar, kitchen, parlour, observation car. I mean, if we're offering an express service, it needs to be a good time as well. You know, bar. Oh, I like that red. I like that red. That is a lovely red. So that's that express train sorted. There's the Sheffield one, which the Sheffield one will also get the Great Bears because it is a vital express link to and from the capital. If I can find at least one of the trains. That's one. There we go. Lovely. That is going to increase the all-up train speed of the Master Cutler significantly. Oh, that's right. I also need to upgrade this link as well, because this link... it's technically classed as an express run because of the distance involved, even though it's not actually an express run. So, first class parlor, first class bar, parlor, kitchen, parlor, and then an observation car. This one is slightly more beefy in terms of length because of the link it provides to Ipswich and another one of our secondary main lines. And also, again, I'm not going to lie, I don't hate this colour either on the Pullmans. I actually kind of like it. Kind of like a sea breeze green, which is kind of fitting given where the Pullman actually serves. One thing I do want to check on is the express trains to and... yeah, definitely getting better performance out of these compared to the Atlantics. Definitely getting better performance out of them. And there's a Saint running at speed. Working a southbound service. What about the what about the Hull to London trains? Well, that's the Flying Scotsman blitzing its way south. But what about the Hull trains that we also have as well? Yeah, like this one. So this would be, yeah, this would get the Atlantic treatment, the light Pullman treatment. So this would be Atlantic steam engine with the short Pullman rake. So you got baggage coach, first class parlour, bar, kitchen, parlour, observation, and that's the... and then, of course, you've got the regular express train as well on the London to Edinburgh run. Very nice indeed. Well, a lot of these are mods, so a lot of the mods have really done quite well. Oh, that is right. I did forget I forgot one of the most important things here, actually. There is actually an express train in Scotland that I completely neglected to upgrade. Even though I didn't mean to neglect it. Well, I did upgrade it, but it needs to be upgraded again. And because it's a very important express train, since it will eventually provide a link... well, if it's fast enough, it can provide a link to southbound expresses, then it will absolutely get the proper... basically, all the important express trains get the 85-mile-an-hour Pacifics. Because if they are going to be part of a connection to another part of the network, probably another express train, they need that level of speed to enable the calculations running the you know, the independent players to make the decision. This is actually a northern end of track, Aberdeen. This is as far north as you can come. And of course, we're also going to do the same thing with the Aberdeen, with the Scotch main line, because the Scotch main line is very important, and so it will also receive the upgrade with the new rolling stock, although it will retain the certain Scottish charm that has made the Scottish part of the railway network quite as lovely as it is. So, 2 first class, 1, 2, 3, and then there's a rear, and then boom. Oh my lord, would you look at that? Oh, a Bear Garrett. Okay, very interesting. And a bunch of new 044T tanks. And some other tank engines as well. That's very nice. I'm going to slow it down again. And I'm going to leave it here for just a minute. I will be back. Don't go anywhere, folks. Do not adjust your televisions. Thank you for not adjusting your television sets. Normal programming resumes now. But yeah, so things are going relatively well. We're actually approaching the end of the decade in one go. Probably, we did rush through it, to be fair, but then again, I did want to rush through it because, well, there was a lot of catching up to be done. Oh, look at that. The Flying Scotsman is meeting the Aberdeen Express. Sadly, no passengers for the Flying Scotsman quite yet, but there will be, I'm sure, in time. Oh yeah, good idea. Screenshot has been taken. We're now going to prepare for the electrification of the Edinburgh through the Edinburgh and Outer Town suburban network, since I expect electrics to be here fairly shortly. So we're going to prepare for the electrification of that network. Actually. fact, let's make sure that actually does happen before the end of the stream, because then I can show you some of the early electrics that we have access to. It is very reassuring to have these large stations with these large capacities and watch them actually be filled up. Oh, I should use free cam, actually. Yeah, I should have done. Why didn't I do that? I've forgotten how to do that, actually. Not quite. The crocodiles. No. Not quite. I assume he's waiting for the other Scott. Yeah, so the other Scott has arrived in London. You also now need to depart for London as well. There goes the Flying Scotsman. Off on its southbound journey to London. There we go. And of course we also have ferries up here as well, providing a link across the bay. It's vitally important work. All commanded by 5 clones of the same man, some of whom stare out of the bridge. For the most part, everything is going reasonably alright. Not perfectly, but alright. There we go. Come on, give me 1910. Give me 1910. And please tell me that this is going to actually be the year I think it is. Well. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. That's what I wanted. Oh, yes. And some new compartment stock as well. Beautiful. Oh, and there it is. That's what I was waiting for. Multiple units. Oh, yes. That is what we wanted. So for starters, we have a new, extremely powerful engine to actually work our heavy Scotch trains. I think it's actually more powerful than this one. Oh, no, it's not. That's a shame. But it can work some of the other lighter trains instead, which is fine. But here's the main thing that you've all been waiting for. Allow me to present a revolution in Edinburgh outer suburban services. Actual electric multiple units. And all the possibilities such units will bring. And on that bombshell, with the electric revolution now here, it is time to end. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I hope you've had a fantastic time. Please tune in next week for more of the race to the north, as we truly enter the era of modern railway construction and development, and we consider what changes could come to the network next. Obviously, if for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, who are obviously watching the VOD, you guys will get, obviously, this VOD as well. And please do leave a comment on YouTube on the VOD if you want to tell Fleet how to improve his network. The problem is the Forth Bridge is much further north, sadly. I don't really have a model for it, sadly. If I can make it fit, I will do, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Take care, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye now, folks.